I mean, clearly you guys have never heard of the Salt Witch.
No, I haven't.
Is that like a sandwich?
That sounds delicious.
It's very close to a sandwich.
Except sounds like it'd be too
salty.
Salty, yeah. Salty.
That's the
I'd
word
really
you were
like
looking
a
for.
sandwich right now.
Yeah, me too.
The Salt Witch is a legend based on a Native American, a Nebraska Plains Native American myth. The center figure of this myth is the chief of a tribe in the plains, and he is, by all accounts, an implacable man. He's angry, he's dangerous, he's violent, he's very Khal Drogo.
Really?
He's very like big and like, yeah, there's a reason he's the chief, and he's also just he's scary. He's a scary individual. The entire tribe is lives in fear of him and his wrath.
But is he as hot as Khal Drogo?
Oh my God, he's so hot.
Is he so hot?
Really?
He's so hot.
Awesome.
Nebraska Plains.
So he's
Indian,
hotter than...
He's just...
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
man.
guy's ripped. All right. Anyway, so this hot angry guy. He runs.
This super hot angry guy.
This just
He's
so
Adonis.
mad and hot.
He's got the butt. He's got the abs.
He's right. They're like
anger.
He's got like 8 of them.
anger.
Not just
this,
6.
like smoldering eye, angry.
And the musk.
It's got the man musk. Come on, that's a thing.
Oh, musky. Like, okay.
Yeah, I like it.
So the only person that this man listens to, the only person that can speak reason to him, is his wife, his beloved wife, and she's the only person that can calm his tigerish rages. Is how it's put. They live in this state of the wife sort of being able to calm him down, and peace reigns over the tribe for a while. But then, unfortunately, the wife falls ill, and she eventually dies. And she is mourned by the chief for several weeks. Apparently, the rest of the tribe at one point decided he had either died or he had relinquished his chiefdom.
Oh, he's just like straight up disappeared?
He just went into the tent and he never came out. He went into his mourning.
And he was so scary that nobody wanted to
Nobody
check
was
on
like,
him.
right. They were just like, well, maybe he's gone, or I
Chief,
don't know.
you need a glass of water or anything?
He's good. He's good. Just leave him alone. He's fine. He's fine.
I think I saw him in there. I don't know.
He's so hot. He's fine. He's so hot. He's fine.
Even when he's sad, he's scary.
You go in, Bobby. No, you go in, Bobby.
So this went on for a while, and then eventually the chief emerged from the mourning tent, and he was in full war regalia. Nobody knew why. He didn't say anything to anyone. He just marched off. No, come with me. No, nothing. He walked off by himself out into the plains, and he was gone for several weeks. And then he returned with an entire belt full of scalps.
Holy shit.
And a handful of salt.
What?
And
it's like a war butterfly emerging from his
cocoon.
And
I mean, he'd already like proven
Salt
himself
cocoon.
like a war butterfly. This dude is like a
Butterfly.
war butterfly. Good band name.
War Butterfly. 'Cause it's brutal but beautiful.
I think War Butterfly opened up for the Smiths in 87.
Didn't go well.
If
Didn't
I'm
go
not
well at all.
mistaken, did not go over well.
oddly enough, polka band.
On returning a full month later, he was more communicative and had something unusual to relate. He also proved his battle prowess by brandishing the belt of fresh scalps before the eyes of his warrior and the lumps of salt in his hand.
Ew.
He told them that after, and this is quoting from the Legends of America by Charles M. Skinner.
Skinner.
I got it.
I don't get it.
He told them after traveling far over the prairie, he had thrown himself on the earth to sleep, when he was aroused by a wailing sound close by. In the light of a new moon, he saw a hideous old woman brandishing a tomahawk over the head of a younger one, who was kneeling and begging for mercy, trying to shake the grip of the older woman from her throat.
Whoa.
Wow.
The sight of the women 40 miles from the village so surprised the chief that he ran towards them. The younger woman made a desperate effort to free herself, but in vain, as it seemed the hag wound her left hand in her hair, while the other was raised with the axe about to strike. At the moment that the chief gained a view of the face of the younger woman, it was then that he realized it was that of his dead wife.
Oh.
With a snarl of wrath,
Whoa.
he leaped upon the hag and buried his own hatchet in her brain. But before he could catch his own wife in his arms, the earth opened and both women disappeared. A pillar of salt stood where he had seen this thing. For years, the natives maintained that the column was under the custody of the Salt Witch. And when they went there to gather the salt, they would beat the ground with their clubs, believing that each blow fell upon her person and kept her from working her evil.
Oh
my God.
Hold on a second. So these people, they said this horrible thing happened here, and they went to the salt pillar, and they still ate the salt from it?
You need salt.
You need
gotta have
salt.
seasoning.
That's like the whole point of it, I think. And we were talking about this. I think that's like the arc of the Native American myth is that they that was his he went and faced like a supernatural thing and came back with this like useful thing for the tribe and was like, all right, never mind, I'm out of my funk. I squashed the beef with the ghost, the dead wife.
No more bland food.
And then boys, we gonna eat.
We're gonna
Well,
eat.
yeah, but you can't have salt without pepper, so who's making the pepper?
As terrifying as that is, the Salt Witch is not the most dangerous female woman presence out on these plains.
What?
What?
There's another?
There is another. Have you guys heard of double piano trill? The Tah-tah-kle.
Okay, well, no, I haven't.
No.
Never.
Angela, you ain't never heard of this now?
I never heard of this.
They are a sisterhood of 5 deadly women god demons who scour the plains searching for babies, and they eat it.
What? No.
They consume the flesh of the babies.
Oh, no.
That's real
yeah,
terrible.
The young and the tender.
God, no, say it ain't true.
Don't make it sound delicious.
They get together with the Salt Witch. They get the Pepper Warlock.
The ranch wizard.
The cayenne fairy.
I am the wizard of ranch dressing.
So the tale of these owl women come from the Yakima tribe, which I believe is in Washington.
Okay, so Pacific Northwest area,
Northwest.
right.
Tale of 5 supernatural women who resemble giant owls dwelling in caves by day and flying out at night to prey on all manner of creatures, including humans. In fact, they are said to prefer the taste of children. Legend has it that they can mimic human language, and that the owl itself is a symbol of death in many native cultures. So the legend of the Tah-tah-kle have spread around several different areas. There's the California and sort of the also the Utah area, that type of stuff. And it was similar to La Llorona, Llorona.
La Llorona.
Yeah, La Llorona. In that it was used as a kind of a boogeyman for kids. Like, watch out, the Tah-tah-kles are going to come and get you if you're out at night or you're mouthing off to me or whatever. They're going to come and get you.
It's like a cautionary tale.
Correct. Be careful because they they feast on the flesh of babies and they'll eat you.
Tah-tah-kle does kind of sound like a pop group.
It does.
Yeah, like Tah-tah-kle does. And you sing, like,
It's like
the
like
point in
K-pop?
the crowd, like K-pop, yeah.
Like a K-pop thing.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking more like a Tejana thing.
So L.V. McWhorter told a story that apparently was relayed to him by a Yakima Indian in the year of 1919. And it goes to say, Owl, who's his man's name, Shopotan, was the man. He was the big chief who lived at the Poye Kusin. He went up to the Natchez to hunt deer. Many men went with him. They hunted all one sun, and when evening came, Owl did not return to camp. The hunters called to each other, Owl is not here. Owl is away. Owl is lost. Tah-tah-kle, it says here. The evil old woman with her basket heard that call in the twilight. Owl is lost, and she said to her 4 sisters, we must go and hunt Owl, who is lost from his people. We will get him for ourselves. Owl knew of the place that the Tah-tah-kle was coming for him, so he went up to a hollow place in the Tik-ta. You can see the trail that he traveled up the face of the rock to the cave high up on the wall. Grass is growing along a narrow trail. You can see it from where you are out on the rock, where it winds up on the cliff.
Fucking awesome.
Owl had a deer. He filled the tripe with the blood of the deer. He heard the Tah-tah-kle coming and knew she would kill him.
Gross.
He knew, and he placed the blood-filled tripe in front of him.
Oh.
Tah-tah-kle entered the mouth of the cave. She looked. It was dark, but she saw it, the strange thing lying there.
Is this tripe? Gross.
She did not know. She was afraid. She called to Owl, take it away. I do not like it. Owl said, no. That is something powerful. Step over it. Tah-tah-kle did as she was told and stepped over the tripe. Owl was ready. He did not get up. He sat there, and when the Tah-tah-kle stepped, he went and punched the tripe with his stick. He punched it often, and it went kloop, kloop, kloop.
Yeah, it did.
That's because it's full. That's like stomach lining. Of course, it's going to make like a kloop, kloop, kloop. It's like a Dr. Seuss. Gross.
I do not like kroop, kroop, kroop.
Do not like
blood-filled tripe. I do not like it.
Gross.
Kloop, kloop, kloop. Tah-tah-kle was scared. She screamed and threw up her hands and fell from the cliff. The river ran by the base of this cliff, deep and swift. The Tah-tah-kle fell from the water, and she was killed. It is said that from her eye, all owls were created. The person or power that killed her said to her, "From now on, your eye will be the only part of you to act. At night, it will go to certain birds, the owls."
And during the day, it could just fuck off.
Right.
That is a beautiful story, though.
Tah-tah-kle, owls, tatas, and hooters.
Right. Yeah, I like that.
Hey.